The Fiend. This is an English adaptation of the story The Fiend, originally appearing in Ralston's 1873 collection, Russian Folk Tales. It is a chilling glimpse into the darker side of Slavic folklore. Long ago, in a small Russian village, lived a girl named Marussia, renowned for her radiant beauty and cheerful spirit. During the long, biting winters, it was custom for the local youth to gather in a large house to talk, sing, and dance the nights away. One evening, as the festivities reached their peak, the door swung open to reveal a young man no one recognized. He was dressed in opulent clothes, and his face possessed a strange, magnetic glow. He walked straight to Marussia and invited her to dance. Marussia was instantly captivated. He was not only handsome but spoke with a mesmerizing charm. They danced the entire evening. However, Marussia's mother, watching from a corner, felt a chill of suspicion. She noticed something cold and lifeless behind the stranger's perfect smile. When the gathering ended, the mother warned her daughter, "Marussia, who's that man? He does not belong to our village. Be careful if he returns." The following evening, the stranger returned. Before Marussia left, her mother secretly handed her a ball of red thread. "When you dance with him," she whispered, "loop a bit of this thread around a button on his coat. When he leaves, follow the trail to see where he truly lives." Marussia did as she was told. When the youth departed, she followed the red line through the dark village streets. She expected to arrive at a grand manor, but the thread led her straight to the iron gates of the old village church. The church doors creaked open on their own as the man entered. With a racing heart, Marussia propped a ladder against a window and peered inside. The sight turned her blood to ice. In the center of the church lay a corpse awaiting burial. The youth the handsome dancer had transformed. His nails were long and jagged. He was hunched over the body, feasting upon the cold flesh. He was no man. He was an Upper Russian vampire. Marussia fled home and huddled under her blankets, terrified to speak. The next day, the fiend appeared at her house. He stood before her, staring deep into her eyes. "Marussia," he asked, "did you go to the church last night?" Trembling, she lied, "No, I did not." The fiend smiled, a grin that made the room's temperature plummet. "It would have been better if you had told the truth," he whispered. "Because you lied, your father will die tomorrow." The next morning, her father was found dead in his bed. There were no wounds, only a tiny mark on his neck. Marussia wept bitterly but kept the secret. The next night, the fiend returned. When she denied him again, he claimed her mother. On the third day, her brother died. Marussia was now utterly alone, living in the shadow of death. The fiend visited one last time. "Marussia, it is your turn now. Tomorrow morning, you shall die." Desperate, Marussia ran to an old village grandmother known for her knowledge of herbs and magic. After hearing the tale, the old woman said, "Child, the fiend will never let you rest until you acknowledge him. But there is a way. When you die, command your kin not to carry you through the church doors. You must be carried out from beneath the threshold and buried at the crossroads." She gave Marussia 2 small vials, one containing water of death and the other water of life. The next day, Marussia was found lifeless. Following her final wishes, the villagers buried her at the crossroads. Before long, a wondrously beautiful flower grew upon her grave. A passing nobleman, struck by its beauty, uprooted the flower and took it home to decorate his chambers. At night, the flower transformed back into Marussia. When the nobleman discovered her, she told him her harrowing story. He fell deeply in love with her and they married, living happily for years. However, Marussia made one condition: she would never set foot inside a church. Time passed, and they had a beautiful child. One day, the nobleman insisted they go to church for the child's christening. As Marussia crossed the threshold, there stood the fiend, disguised as the priest. Seeing her, the fiend shrieked, "Tell me now, Marussia. Did you see me that night in the church?" Marussia was no longer a frightened girl. She shouted back, "Yes. I saw you. You are a monster who feasts upon the dead." The fiend reverted to his hideous form and lunged at her. But Mauricia was ready. She threw the water of death upon him. The moment the drops touched him, he crumbled into ash. She then sprinkled the water of life over her husband and child, who had collapsed under the monster's spell. The evil was finally destroyed, and Mauricia's curse was broken forever.